When the Jewish people of Jesus' generation hear the words kingdom of God, they're not thinking about the afterlife and heaven and hell. They're thinking about how is God going to rule over the world and what part are they going to play in that. And of course, there was a lot of diversity and a lot of differences about how that was all going to play out based on what they were reading from Moses and the prophets. But one thing was certain is they all anticipated the arrival of the kingdom of God, and Jesus was making it clear that that arrival was imminent, in fact, that it was going to take place through him. And that's what happens whenever he's out among the people confronting evil and driving it out of the world. Because ultimately, in order for God to triumph, he has to defeat evil. And at every turn and everything that Jesus does, he shows that he is going to deal with the problem of evil that's at work in the world. Ultimately, he's even going to defeat the worst enemy, death itself. And instead of having the age of sin and death rule over the world, it's going to become the age of truth and life that rules over the world. And so Jesus, all along the way, that's what his healings are all about. That's what his teaching is about. That's what those feasts about who's going to eat with the king in the kingdom of God, who's invited to the king's table, all of those issues that cause such great consternation, so much difficulty by the Jewish leadership, who had very strong and definite opinions about how things were meant to work out. And that is, Israel was meant to become the new Rome. They would simply defeat Rome and take its place. But what we find out is Jesus didn't see that as the real aim of the kingdom of God. All the kingdoms of this world are going to come and go, but the one that reigns forever is God's kingdom. The one that Jesus is in the process of establishing on earth as he works his way through the nation of Israel. That's what his teachings constantly say. All those comparisons, those parables that he teaches are talking about the nature of the kingdom and how it grows and how it progresses. And instead of arms and force and the ability to occupy territories and all the rest of that stuff, Jesus is going to triumph by preaching the word, by making the announcement that God has at last come to take charge of his creation, and that it's time for human beings to bend the knee and give their allegiance to his chosen king, Jesus. So Jesus is teaching that, Jesus is practicing that, Jesus is demonstrating that all the way through his life until that climactic moment where he deals with sin and death and evil once for all. But of course, that's going to be for our next discussion. Join me, please, and subscribe. My channel is Stifling Jesus. Thank you.